Hello, everybody. I guess my video intro was, I don't know. No, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Another episode of Bad Cinema. I'm a little bit discombobulated today, but today we are still tired. I don't know. I feel like I've got something, kind of allergy reaction or something. I don't know. But today we're going to be reviewing probably the worst Superman movie ever made, Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. I don't have the trailer. I really didn't prepare myself for this, so I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to get back in the swing of things after I've been gone all week or all weekend. So, if anybody wants to show the trailer, Kevin, I don't know if you can do it, but you know what happens when I share something. I don't have my new computer set up yet, so I can't do it. But anyway, I got to bring up while you're doing that, I'll bring up the Wikipedia page.
Wikipedia.
Wiki.
Read about the worst Superman movie ever, right, Matt?
That one and the Superman Returns are probably the two worst, I think.
Okay.
But this one's a pretty bad stinker. This was when Canon Pictures was trying to go mainstream, right, and do a big studio movie. Well, they spent all their money getting Christopher Reeve, and they didn't get anything for special effects.
Yeah.
Or other actors.
Which one was Richard Pryor in?
I guess all the money went to
3, I think.
Richard Pryor was in 3?
Yeah.
The greatest hope against the threat of nuclear war is Superman.
I'm going to do what our governments have been unwilling or unable to do. Effective immediately, I'm going to rid our planet of all nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
The greatest threat to Superman is Lex Luthor.
Smarter than I thought. We can make the world safe for war profits.
He's created the ultimate weapon to annihilate the Man of Steel.
You'd risk worldwide nuclear war for your own personal financial gain. Nobody wants war. I just want to keep the threat alive.
What up, Jay?
Dude of Steel. Where are you gonna get it?
You know you're a workaholic. Why don't you stop and smell the roses, huh?
Superman 4, Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Jackie Cooper, John Cryer, with Mariel Hemingway and Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. Superman 4, his most important adventure, the quest for peace.
Plug that volcano. You know?
Wow.
Take care of
you know what? It starts out kind of okay. But I think they spent all their money on Gene Hackman and Christopher Reeve being in the movie. Mm-hmm. And that's where it ended at. Because, John Cryer, I love John Cryer, but he is awful in this movie, by the way. He is one of the worst parts of this movie. Except for the guy they got to play Nuclear Man. Yeah. Nuclear Man was a Chippendale dancer. They didn't cast an actor. They said, this guy's got the physique. I guess one of them were in a Chippendales, and they're like, oh, this guy would be perfect. He can't act. I don't even know if that's his real voice like they're using. I don't know. Okay, anyway, it says Superman. Here, I'll have to share this. Oh, my bad.
He fit the bill.
I have to get back in the swing of streaming again, guys.
After
you've been gone a few days, it's like trying to learn to ride a bike again.
Yeah, man. Get your training wheels.
Here we go. And I'm a little bit hoarse if you can't tell. So I might need you guys to lean on you guys a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Superman 4: The Quest for Peace is a 1987 superhero film directed by Sidney Furie and written by Lawrence Connor and Mark Rosenthal from a story by Christopher Reeve. Connor and Rosenthal based on the DC Comics character Superman, of course. It stars Gene Hackman, Jackie Cooper, Mark McClure, John Cryer, Sam Wanamaker, Jim Broadbent, Mariel Hemingway, and Margot Kidder. It is the 5th film including Supergirl in the Superman film series. Supergirl was also bad. Okay, Margot Kidder, there she is. She was beautiful when she was young. There's Mariel Hemingway, Sam Wanamaker. Jim Broadbent, Mark McClure, he was Jimmy Olsen, John Cryer, who was on 2.5 Men, Jackie Cooper, who, if anybody doesn't know who Jackie Cooper is, he played Perry White, but he was one of the original Little Rascals.
Yep.
And the great, the late great Gene Hackman. I'm sure he got a good paycheck for this. It's the only reason he did it. Okay, shortly before the film's production, the film's producer, the Cannon Group, suffered a major financial crisis that forced major budget cuts, and 45 minutes of footage was deleted after negative test screenings. The film received an overwhelmingly negative reviews from critics and fans alike, citing poor special effects, plot holes. Plans for Superman 5 were then canceled, and no Superman films were made again until Superman Returns in 2006, which then made sure there was not another one made for another 10 years, basically. All right. Superman saves the crew of a Russian space station before uncovering the capsule that brought him to Earth and retrieving a green Kryptonian energy module. A recording left by his mother, Lara, reveals the module's power can only be used once. Returning to Metropolis, he discovers that the Daily Planet has been taken over by tabloid tycoon David Warfield, who replaces Perry White with his daughter, Lacey Warfield, who develops a crush on Clark Kent. Meanwhile, Superman seeks guidance in the Fortress of Solitude after learning of escalating tension between the U.S. and the Soviet Union over nuclear weapons. He later addresses the UN and announces that he is going to rid the planet of all nuclear weapons. Yeah. Boy, wouldn't it be great if it was that easy, right, guys?
Yeah. Superman.
Meanwhile, Luthor orchestrates a jailbreak to free his Lenny Luthor, played by John Cryer. We let whoever that is in. I heard somebody come in. Orchestrates a jailbreak to free his
Hey, what up, Jeff?
From prison.
Hey, fellas.
The pair travel to Metropolis, where Lex steals a strand of Superman's hair to create a genetic matrix. Partnering with a black market arms dealers, he attaches the matrix to a nuclear missile. And when Superman intercepts the missile and hurls it into the sun, the resulting energy discharge creates Nuclear Man, a superhuman entity. Nuclear Man returns to Earth, aligning with Lex, who reveals that Nuclear Man becomes inactive without sunlight. Which doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Superman stops like throwing the Statue of Liberty into Metropolis. There's all kinds of weird shit goes on. Development and casting. Alexander Salkin and his son Ala produced the Superman series, planned to produce a fourth Superman movie. The film received an unexpectedly negative reaction, but still grossed $80 million. Reed was also hesitant to return to the series of Superman. The Salkins announced they threw so much money at him, he kind of had to do it. The fourth film, regardless, but after the commercial failures of Supergirl and the next film, Santa Claus, the movie, caused them financial strain, they began to consider if the franchise had run its course. After negotiations during the 38th Cannes Film Festival, Salkin agreed to sell Superman franchise to Mannheim Golan and Yoram Globus of the Cannon Group. Worst mistake he could have made. He sold it to him for $5 million because if you ever see anything that Cannon did, they sold the rights to the Superman movie to the same company that made films like American Ninja, Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3, The Domination.
That was good.
All that stuff. So,
you can tell by the trailer, right, Matt? You could tell by the trailer we just watched.
The studio enticed Reeve to come back for $6 million, financing, and they agreed to financing for his pet project movies, Street Smart, and approval over the story and director. Reeve pitched a storyline focused on the nuclear arms race in protest of the breakdown of the summit between Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev, a military buildup and skepticism towards arms control. His story was accepted, and he was considered as the film's director, although he was allowed to direct some second unit scenes. He was ultimately deemed too inexperienced for the full-time job. They should have let him do it.
Yeah.
Because it might have been better than what we got. Richard Donner claimed in the commentary for Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, that Cannon had unsuccessfully asked him to return to the series. Donner declined his part due to a scheduling conflict with Lethal Weapon. Wes Craven was originally hired by Cannon Films to direct the film.
That would have been
He
good.
and Reeve did not get along well, and Reeve demanded that a new director be brought in.
Oh,
Although Reeve recommended Ron Howard. That's what happens when you look. I love Christopher Reeve, but that's what happens when you let actors be in charge of who does what.
Exactly.
Although Reeve recommended Ron Howard,
that would have
Sidney
been
J.
great.
Fury was the one hired.
I wonder what this movie would have been if Ron Howard.
Ron Howard would have done great.
Even what would it have been? Even Wes Craven had done it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wes Craven would have been awesome too. Yeah.
In his autobiography, Still Me, Reeve described filming the movie. We were also hampered by budget constraints and cutbacks in all departments. Cannon Films had nearly 30 projects in works at the time, and Superman 4 received no special consideration. For example, Connor and Rosenthal wrote a scene in which Superman lands on 42nd Street and walks down the double yellow lines in the United Nations, where he gives a speech. If that had been a scene in Superman 1, we would actually have shot it on 42nd Street. Richard Donner would have choreographed hundreds of pedestrians and vehicles and cut to people gawking out of the office windows at the side of Superman walking down the street like the Pied Piper. Instead, we had to shoot at an industrial park in England in the rain with about 100 extras, not a car in sight, and a dozen pigeons thrown in for atmosphere. Even if the story had been brilliant, I don't think we could ever have lived up to honest expectations for this approach. And Rosenthal's DVD commentary cited this scene as an example of Cannon's budget slashing. According to Rosenthal, Reeve and Fury begged to be able to film that sequence in New York in front of the real headquarters of the UN because everyone knew how they looked, and the Milton Keynes setting looked nothing like the UN. But Cannon refused. According to Rosenthal, they were pinching pennies at every step.
Yes,
Shortly before production at Elstree Studios on September 27th of '86, Cannon reduced the budget from $36 to $17 million. Jeez. Part of the problem was that Cannon financed its films by selling television and home video rights in advance, which failed with films of a budget of over $5 million. So they were still stuck in that video rental thing for a movie like this. And that may work with a movie like Missing in Action, or American Ninja, but on a movie like this, it doesn't work. And they also used to do this thing where they would be like,
well, did I miss it? Did I
make
miss
a poster for like Spider-Man and say, we're going to make a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have a script.
Right. Did I miss it? What was the reason why they cut back on
they were having financial problems. They were about to go bankrupt. And this is actually one of the last films they ever made.
Okay. All right.
They lasted until about 89 or 90. And
because at the top were stuff in their pockets. That's what was happening.
Oh, this was a cutout. These guys were cut out for something else.
A lot of people joke about Cannon Films. They think it was just a money laundering operation for them.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
And I believe that. And I believe they were probably doing a lot of the Colombian marching powder.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah, allegedly. The studio here you go. We'll get into more right here.
Tell somebody 36 million and then it turns into 17 million.
That's
what is it?
Yeah.
What is it? What's that do
you're talking about. We're not talking about some indie film here. We're talking about a Superman movie.
4.
Yeah.
You've got to put money into it if you want it to succeed.
Hello.
Yeah.
But think about the budgeting of this. I've heard rumors that the new Superman movie is budgeted at over almost $500 million at this point.
Wow.
So think about that. And this is the time period, but still,
yeah,
we go from 36 to 17. Okay, it says here that the studio had gone 6 years without a major hit. The studio was narrowly saved from bankruptcy after a deal with Warner Brothers Pictures. Provides $75 million to repay its loans in exchange for distribution rights to its upcoming films, including Superman 4. Now, see, another thing about Cannon was when they started out, they had some minor hits like Breaking and Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo, and Enter the Ninja was successful, American Ninja, but provided enough confidence in the studio for a $65 million line of credit from First Bank of Boston. During the production of the filming and special effects crews, the first 3 films were replaced with cheaper Israeli crews. There is where we start running into the problem right there.
Yeah.
Instead of using the guys that were in Superman 1, 2, and 3 for special effects, they replaced with some Israeli.
Oh yeah, that crews. Trailer. My
according
favorite
to John, listen here. According to John Cryer, who played Lex Luthor's nephew Lenny, Reeve had taken him aside just before the release and told him it was going to be terrible. Although Cryer enjoyed working with Reeve and Hackman, Cryer claimed that Cannon ran out of money during the production and ultimately released an unfinished film. The film was shot at multiple locations around England. The Metropolis Metro train scene at the beginning of the film was shot in the now abandoned Aldwych tube station, and the city of Milton Keynes was used to represent the UN headquarters in New York. Also, another thing, interesting trivia note, John Cryer plays Lex Luthor in the Supergirl series.
Hey, Cal.
In a deleted scene, Mark Russell's commentary of the 2006 DVD, in a gallery of deleted scenes included on the disc, there are approximately 45 minutes of the film that haven't been seen by the general public. They were deleted following a failed Southern California test screening. The nuclear man that appears in the film is actually the second nuclear man that Luthor created. Cut scenes featured the original nuclear man, portrayed by Clive Mantle, engaging Superman in battle outside the Metro Club and being destroyed by the Man of Steel. The first nuclear man was somewhat more inhuman looking than his successor and resembled in both looks and personality the comic book character Bizarro. That would have been much better.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do that? Why didn't they just have Bizarro?
Yep.
Luthor postulates that this nuclear man wasn't strong enough and hatches the plan to create a second one with a son as a result. Not all the deleted scenes made it to the deluxe edition of the DVD, including a scene depicting Clark Kent visiting the graves of his foster parents. The scene was to have preceded that would have made more sense too, because there's a scene in the movie where he's selling the old farm, but you don't really hear that his mother's passed away.
Yeah.
And they should have showed that. I don't know why they deleted that. The scene was to have preceded the film's theatrical scene where Clark returns to Smallville to meet the contractor in hopes of selling or leasing the Kent farm. And the deleted scene about Lacey Warfield and Clark Kent's romance showing them dancing in the Metro Club was also not released on the disc. And there you go. That's all I can tell you about that movie.
Low budget Superman film. You know?
Yeah.
I forgot to send Kyle the link. I'm sorry, Kyle.
Plug in a volcano. Right? Wasn't that the best part of the trailer?
Plugs the volcano with a cork.
He
basically puts a cork in it, right? Well, do you guys want to see some ridiculous scenes? So here's where Lenny breaks out of jail.
Uncle Wax. Lenny, I've always considered you the Dutch elm disease in my family tree. But this time that...
Actually, Gene Hackman's pretty funny in this movie, though.
Yeah, Gene Hackman probably carried a lot of it.
Gene Hackman is...
You better stand back. Keep your eye out.
There's the link, Cal.
He came to work and did his job, you know?
Yeah, Gene Hackman, yeah. And he got paid.
Well, you know, there's another funny story about another bad movie called Jaws 4: The Revenge. Michael Caine was in it. And they asked Michael Caine, do you regret doing that movie? He goes, no, I don't have any regrets. I had a fond memory of that movie. He said it paid for my house I live in now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a job, right?
He managed his money, you know?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Movies. Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
No, he managed his money, is all I said.
Yeah. Movies are a weird thing. So Superman 4 turns out as a steamer. Okay. And then you look back at it and you can start pointing at things saying this is why. But, you know, like take a movie like Napoleon Dynamite or something like that, where the budget's a freaking shoestring, but goes boom.
Yeah.
Now people are like, oh, these guys are geniuses. You know what I mean? Art is weird like that. It's weird like that.
Yep.
But you don't need much of a budget when you have a great writer and great actors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the thing about a film like Napoleon Dynamite is that was like, what's his name? Josh Hader or something like that.
John Heder. John Heder.
Yeah. It was his baby. You know what I mean? He'd nurtured that baby for a long time.
Yeah, that was a good movie, man. You know. What about Christopher Nolan's movie? They're Following. Well, all it was an 8 millimeter. You saw that? I figured you would have saw that, Kevin. That was pretty good, right?
Yeah. I mean, just again, you know, great writing, a great director.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't need much.
Well, look at Reservoir Dogs by Quentin Tarantino. He didn't have a big budget.
Yeah, is that how he got his name, right?
Yeah,
and Clerks.
That was like his first
$36,000.
Yeah, made it for $36,000, and he managed to get Harvey Keitel, which was pretty interesting. He was, I guess, Keitel. I think he talked him into doing it. Yeah.
Bad Lieutenant.
I loved Clerks, Kevin.
Bad Lieutenant.
One of my favorite movies when I was younger. But it was a weird thing with my friend group. It was like split right down the middle, and it was love hate. It was like, oh
Wow.
man, it was hilarious. It was awesome. And then the other guys were like,
Yeah.
why'd you
Didn't he-
watch that? I don't get that at all. And I'm like,
Didn't he max out his credit cards to make
Yeah.
that film?
Maxed out his credit cards and his mom's card and friends' cards
you done your problem.
Hey,
and most of it
well,
went by the camera.
the problem with the difference between a movie like Napoleon Dynamite, Clerks, and Reservoir Dogs is you can make those movies for a
Shoestring.
limited budget, but if you're making a Superman movie,
You got to have
you
special
got to put
effects.
that money on the screen. You have to put that money on the screen.
Yeah,
You're not talking about unless Superman's working in a Quick Mart somewhere. You can't really
You gotta have
do that
special
with a
effects.
Superman movie.
I wonder how far down the timeline of making the movie that they're like, okay, by the way, guys, it's only 17 million, not 36. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean that
Get
had to
up
be
on
like
the
a
road,
low
guys.
there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot of frustration with that. Let's play a couple more clips.
Yeah.
Do you know what I can do with a single strand of Superman's hair?
You can make a toupee that flies.
Yeah, just keep
You
showing
say
me
you
Gene
can
Hackman.
say that flies, man.
Shut the crap.
So the premise is like, there's another thing that's stupid about this movie that makes no sense. Like, apparently Superman can just kiss Lois Lane anytime he wants, turn her memory back on, and she remembers he's Kal-El, and then kiss her again, and she forgets everything.
Yep.
Does he have super lips or something? I don't understand. Like that was that. It's not a power Superman ever had, so it kind of annoys me.
Right.
Super lips.
What's up, Austin?
Hey, Austin, Southern Comic Geek.
Was it Superman 2 where Lois Lane
Finds out.
falls into the ditch or whatever and dies? And Superman
No, that was in part one.
That was the
that's
first
part one.
Yeah,
And he goes
flies
around.
the planet.
I know that was kind of
Time.
ridiculous too, to be honest, but we let that one go though because
Yeah.
it was,
I remember because I was pretty young when I saw that for the first time. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
But
Jeff.
even as young as I was thinking, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Right. I don't think that would work.
I don't think that works that way.
that also is not a power that Superman possesses, by the way. But
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
so anyway, you get a letter of this kid to Superman to the Daily Planet. Clark reads it, and he's like, Superman, why don't you do something about these nuclear weapons? Everybody's scared. We're all going to die if they don't do something about it, and yada, yada, yada. And then Superman's like, well, he's not supposed to interfere. His mom said, his birth mother, because I guess they set up one of the little magic crystals. So here's the scene that sets it up. I can't play the whole scene, but we'll play a little bit of it.
I know I'm forbidden to interfere, and yet the Earth is threatened by the same fate as Krypton.
The Earth is too primitive. You can flee to new worlds where war.
That's cold-blooded,
Whoa.
man.
Right.
The acting wasn't that great.
Screw them Earthlings. Screw them Earthlings.
Yeah.
So then he goes to the UN to speak to him and says, I'm going to get rid of all nuclear weapons. But you know what? You know what I was thinking about that part, though? It did make me think. If we lived in a world where there actually was a Superman and he was a good guy like that, all these countries would think twice about screwing with anybody. I know that.
Well,
But
if,
anyway.
if there was a real Superman, there probably wouldn't be war.
If there was a real Superman, he would be the dictator of the planet.
Yeah, it could go either
Unless
way.
he was a good
Right?
guy,
It could go either way.
Well, here he goes and he talks to the UN.
Madam Secretary, I don't represent any country, but I'd like to address the delegates.
Well, in that case, you will need a sponsor. I believe that will do. Please.
Every one of those
What is
countries
it?
like,
He needs a
yeah,
sponsor. What
Superman,
is it?
come on over
Is
here.
Superman- Are we in the UN or an AA meeting? He needs a sponsor? I don't know.
What up, House of L? What's up?
Who's here? Oh, House of L Comics.
Well,
Yeah, it's kind of, you know what, though? As a kid, you really didn't see how bad it was. It was like
Right.
you get to see
Yeah.
Superman again. I mean,
Hi,
that's
my
the
name-
way I
hi,
felt
my
as a kid.
name's Yeah.
The older
My
I
name-
got, to realize what a stinker it really was, though.
Yeah, that's what happens.
What's he gonna say? Something wonderful.
Hi, my name's Superman, and I need a sponsor. Hi, Superman.
I'm Superman and I'm an alcoholic.
See this big S right here? It means no more nukes, all right?
Yeah,
Get
hello.
out of here.
I'm here. I'm Superman. All right.
Capiche? There, here we go. We'll play another one.
Means Uncle Mark? What? We're gonna be parents.
God.
We're
I
gonna be
love-
parents, man.
I
Yeah,
love the
John Cryer just annoys the hell out of me in this movie. I'm sorry. He aggravates the hell out of me. And here's another scene: Nuclear Man starts spinning around. He's got like telekinetic powers.
How
I don't
did
know
this
how the
guy-
son gave him that.
I was just kidding about that drinking line. You know, anybody's a drinker around here, it's gotta be me. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
Oh.
my God. That was great. How did the Nuclear Man not get disintegrated? His genes warped and something.
He had Superman's hair. They mixed his DNA, and then they
Okay.
clipped off a little bit of fabric. So this will fit him, and they dropped it in there. And so stupid. It's just retarded. It's
Dude, that's
the R
spinning
word.
around. You got
I'm
to
saying,
keep
but
that.
yeah.
You got to keep that clip, man.
Yeah.
Spinning. You got.
Yeah, I probably will. And this one, so here's Lex Luthor
So-
explaining like how Nuclear Man, he has to have energy from the sun.
Ew. It's like cold.
Of course he
It's like go.
So when you're a kid and you watch,
Lenny, my
Sorry,
loudmouth
I-
nephew, gets his energy from the sun. Without it, he's like you at night.
Good old Gene, man. I like him.
but
They got
Guys,
Kyle
I'll
in
say-
backstage.
hey,
Kyle.
Hey, buddy.
Good seeing you, man.
but you remember
Always
the
good to see
feeling
you.
you had when
Always
you
good to
watched
see you.
Superman, the first Superman, when you were a kid for the first time. You had
Yeah.
that sense of wonder. Wow,
Yeah.
Superman. And then Superman 2 was pretty good. Superman 3 was what it was.
Yeah.
But when I watched 4, even still being pretty young, I was watched 4 and then I watched the whole movie. And afterwards, I even being young, I was like, ooh, that was rough. It felt uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I was like, that's not super. It looks like Superman, but that's not Superman.
That's what happens when you cut corners, man. Even
Well,
the
you know
kids-
what else that you see about it though? I think that the budget got cut so bad, and the
Oh, yeah.
quality was bad that you could tell that Christopher Reeve was just phoning it in. He probably was just like, screw this. Was just phoning it in. That's the feeling
Yeah.
I get. Well, here is a little interesting, like a few clips about when Superman is talking to Lex, and it's kind of funny. And you got Lenny in there. God, he kills me.
This is my nephew, Lenny. He worships me.
See, I'm remembering parts of this because of Gene.
Worships me.
The dude of steel. Boy, are you gonna get it.
Dude, it's cool. Boy, you're gonna get it.
Oh man.
All right. Continue.
Look closely at the cell structure. You see anything familiar?
You've already broken all the laws of man, Luthor. Now it looks as though you've broken the laws of nature, too. I can only assume you must have hidden a device of some kind in one of those missiles I hurled into the sun.
You know, Mr.
Also, like I said, the guy was a Chippendale dancer, and I guess he probably had to go back to Chippendales after this movie.
Yeah, but maybe he made some money. House of L
That makes it
Comics.
worse.
He says he wished they wish they would release the whole movie, like you said, Matt, earlier, right?
I know there's there's two Nuclear Men in the movie, and one of them's almost like Bizarro, like we were talking about earlier on the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
When we were talking about that earlier, House of L.
They won't release the whole thing, apparently.
Right.
One of these days they might. I bet you can find one somewhere lurking on the internet. I imagine.
Hey, I'm imagining Ron Howard being approached saying, Jim trying to pitch to him this movie, and him like looking at the script or whatever and going, "Yeah, I'll pass."
Yeah.
No, I think I'll go film Cocoon.
I'm busy. And I'm busy.
Yeah, and well, I mean, it might have ruined Ron Howard's career before it started if he'd done this movie.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
let's go.
or maybe he makes a great Superman 4. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, but some movies are so bad, like the director will make him change his name.
Yeah.
To a pseudonym. I've seen that happen before. Let's talk about. He's going to talk about like, I want you to destroy Superman, right? So we're going to destroy Superman.
Destroy Superman.
Later. He's a little bit anxious. Can you blame him?
Yeah, Gene's the best.
Good night, sweet prince. Parting is inevitable.
It ain't sweet sorrow, right? It's inevitable.
Sorry, Kyle.
I think Gene's good in the movie.
Yeah, Gene's good.
What are you saying, Kyle?
He can't like Pagano.
Yeah.
Like, me destroy Superman.
Yeah, that would have. I think it'd been better if they'd had like Bizarro on there.
Brian LCS, what up?
I don't know
dude?
why they just didn't do something from the comics. They should have just done something from the comic.
Poor Brian.
Hey, Brian.
You don't have to type out my
Hey,
whole,
you
my
doing,
whole
Brian?
name. You can just say Jeff.
Well, you know what though? Brian is a considerate person. He wanted to just make sure you got your full. There.
I'm happy you clipped a lot of the Gene Hackman clips. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, well, I couldn't find a lot to be honest with you, but there's not many memorable moments.
Gotta keep it spinning.
Destroy Superman. First, I have fun.
Destroy Superman.
What a great actor.
That was chilling.
He must have been Juilliard trained.
When he said he was a Chippendales dancer, why did I go?
Yeah, he's Juilliard trained, definitely, right?
Yeah,
right.
we
that,
weren't
that tracks.
We weren't surprised by that.
Yeah. Go play some more. Here's another clip.
Your commission. Oh, guys, really? That's great.
It is the least we could do.
Well, I had another idea. Gentlemen, I've decided to assume control of the company.
Yeah, so I guess according to House of L, they just WB destroyed scenes, man. Destroyed parts of this movie.
I don't blame them.
Oh, I don't blame them. It's kind of like, remember that video game about you remember that Atari video game, E.T.? They destroyed like thousands of copies of it, put them in a landfill.
Yep.
True story. I watched a freaking documentary about that.
We only got 2 more clips. We only got 2 more clips left. I can't play a lot of this one. It's like 32 seconds, but just the last 2.
Where is the woman?
Give it up. You'll never find her.
If you will not tell me, I will hurt people.
Hurt people. I kill them. Just
I will hurt people. I will hurt people.
Yeah, I will hurt people.
He's hurting me by being on the
Superman.
screen. He's hurting me. Yeah.
Superman's like, what are you shooting
He's
at?
hurting
What are you
me
shooting at?
on the
Like
screen. Yeah.
fire hydrants for?
You weren't even shooting at people. What are you talking
He
about?
doesn't have to kill anybody. All he has to do is show up on screen and he kills me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
and here's Nintendo.
He's like a 10-year-old. I will hurt people.
What
This guy's like, man, I got this part in a Superman movie with Christopher Reeve, but I have to talk like a caveman. Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah. It's so easy a caveman could do it. All right, that's the last scene we got.
And there will be peace. There will be peace when the people of the world want it so badly that their governments will have no choice but to give it to them. I just wish you could all see the earth the way that I...
That's
John
Star
Kennedy.
Superman. That's never going to happen.
That's it.
Yeah. Psych. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go, guys. Are you guys ready to give it your rating? We have a system here in honor of one of the greatest action heroes of all time, Wing Wing. Here he is. Here's the little guy.
Yeah.
Must pay
And we
homage
give
to
it
Wing
1
Wing.
to 5. We give it 1 to 5 Wing Wings. 5 being the best bad cinema it can get.
Like it's
1 being
really
the worst
entertaining.
bad cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go around the horn. I'll start with Jeff, and we'll at the bottom. You give it 1 to 5.
You know what? This movie has a special place, and it's called One Wing Wing Land.
All right, Jeff gives it 1. Kyle, what say you?
What? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay. Do you give it 1 or 5 wing wings?
I mean, it's Superman. I have to go with. I have to go with 3.
2.
And Kyle said 2.
3. Okay. 3. Oh, 2. I'm sorry.
2 for
He had
Kyle.
2 fingers up. I'm blind. All right, let's go. Hold on. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I can't get it to work. Come on. My internet's not working. He gives it 2.
We all
There you
know
go.
that.
Sorry,
Gene,
Kyle. And Aaron, how many do you give it?
we all know Gene Hackman lifted this up from a 1, right?
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
So we got 2. I'm with Kyle on the 2. 2.
I feel bad for
All right.
giving it 1 now.
Aaron has 2. All right, and Kevin.
I go 3. Gene Hackman and Christopher Reeve. I mean, it's Superman, but it's still bad.
Oh God, it was bad.
Jeff, you were so disappointed as a kid. It was
Yeah,
like visceral response was 1, right? Your visceral response was 1.
Maybe that scar hasn't healed yet.
Jeff, in solidarity with Jeff. In solidarity with Jeff, I give it 1 as well.
Yeah, you couldn't watch it.
It hurt me in that. But you're right, though. I mean, Gene and Chris, I
got hurt a lot.
They did their jobs.
Oh, House of L Comics says that the comic adaptation is better than the movie. And he gives it a 5. He still loves it.
Oh, House of
And
L
I am
still
one of
loves
us
it.
just amused by all of it.
Yeah, he's just laughing.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it. I'm gonna tell you everybody what's going on the channel. Now that I'm back from Heroes Con, the Heroes Con hangover is about to subside. The comic book hangover, I didn't drink or anything, but it's a hangover of comic books and meeting friends. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, I have another episode of Comic Conversations, and my guest will be Comic Verse, my friend Tony. And then Thursday at noon Eastern, I hope that all you guys will come back for this one because it's good cinema. We will be talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark, starring Harrison Ford.
Yeah, baby.
And then, of course, the Comic Lounge at 7 p.m. Eastern that same night on Thursday. And then Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, I have my Sunday Super Show Extravaganza. We talk about the new comic book previews, comic speculation, my pick for variant covers of the week, and my favorite part, out of context panels of the week. And don't forget that you can still, until August, I think 7th, nominations for the CBC Awards, the Comic Book Community Awards. You can go to cbcawards.org and nominate your favorite comic book YouTubers. And
Yeah, library.
message here.
Clash of the Titans was awesome. I love that one.
3. All right. Kyle actually said 3, not 2.
Okay.
He said 3, not 2. So I'm going to go back and so Kyle gave it 3.
2 3s.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Or 2 3s and 3 2s.
That's okay. Yeah, well, 2 1s, 2 3s, and 1 2, I think.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway.
So I'm dropping a link. I just did a live stream a couple days ago. It's like 15 minutes or whatever, and it means a lot to me if you guys check it out. So it's about why I'm excited.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Tell us about it. Tell us about what you got. I want everybody to go around. I'll start with Kevin.
Yeah, I kind of jumped the I
Yeah,
jumped the ship there. You normally go around like that. Yeah. So
well, start with me. I don't have anything to announce. So
yeah, go ahead.
Wheel moving. Keep the wheel moving.
Well, tonight
I
I
can tell
got
you that speaking for
6
Kyle, if you don't mind me speaking. Oh yeah, it's gonna be
Everybody
tonight. I
talk.
think he's not having it tonight though. There won't be no. I think it's not tonight though, because I think he's with Patrick right now. The amazing friends, but Kyle, me and Kyle and Jeff have been doing this thing called binge. What's it called? Binge or cringe. We watch a TV
Binge
show
or
every
cringe.
week and tell you what we think about it. Last week we did Frequency, and that's on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. I'm kind of sick, so I'm kind of like. For Kyle, if you got anything else to say, type it in the chat too.
Yeah, that's right. Paul won't be on tonight. I forgot. Thanks for reminding me, Matt. So I have a free night.
Yeah.
I am going live tonight to talk about what could be wrong. So that's it.
Oh.
All right. Anything else you want to type in there? You can type in there, and I guess Aaron.
Thanks, Frank.
You got
Appreciate
anything
it.
else? You got an interview coming up, Aaron? You got like a music memories coming up?
Well, yeah, I'll do the music memories on Friday. It's a new guy who I know from Facebook, so maybe I could have Kevin as a backup in case this guy. I don't know if he's going to make it or not, but it's going to happen Fridays, 2 p.m. Pacific. I also stream to Facebook with that one. The link I dropped is because I've been working on this world, this universe for like years now, and I create all these songs, and these songs are all connected. It's kind of like alternative rock, and so yeah. But I just streamed about it 2 days ago because I finally got my first 10 songs mastered, and I'm super excited about it.
Nice.
So,
I'll definitely check that out.
I really appreciate the support. You guys, some of you guys will like it, some of you won't, but it's all good. You know, I just appreciate the good vibes, you know.
For sure.
And that's it, man. That's what I got to say, dude.
All right, guys. Well,
I'm
I'm going to
check
go
out your link, Aaron.
Thank you.
use
I appreciate it.
boys' room and all that stuff, and probably grab some lunch because I've been streaming with Lady Fantastic this morning, and now I'm doing this one. And my voice is about gone anyway because I'm sick. So
hope you feel
I
better.
don't know what I
dude.
got. I feel like I got something, but anyway, I feel fine. It's just like my throat hurts, and like I don't know. It's just kind of annoying. But I don't know. Maybe I did a lot of talking this weekend. It's probably maybe losing my voice.
Dude, it looked like you
Doing
had
all
a
those
blast,
live
man.
streams.
Yeah.
It looked
I
like
did.
you had a blast.
I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to go back. I'm already thinking about it.
Yeah,
guys,
right.
I guess that's it for now. But remember, just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good.
Come, son of Jarrell! Kneel before Zod! Snoochie boochies.